And I'm going to let, let's see, I think we've, see what we got in here. I'm going to go ahead and take this back over to Amy Mayer for some closing comments, and then we'll get to Q&A.
Thank you so much, Marty. Great job, both Christian and Marty. Thank you guys so much for sharing that information with us today. There are a couple of different things that BICG has up and coming in regards to OBIEE 11g that I just want to make some quick announcements on. We do have our webinars listed out on our website for October, November, and December. In October, we'll be looking at BI Publisher and Enterprise Reporting. In November, we'll be looking at EPM integration along with OBIEE 11g. And then finally, in December, we'll be talking a little bit about the upgrade path from 10G to 11G. Also, many questions came through during the webinar today on upgrades. And BICG is offering a service in which we are helping customers kind of build out that roadmap and the strategy to go from their current implementation of OBIEE to OBIEE 11G. We'll help you put together a business case, start understanding some key things to take into consideration, and really kind of building out that roadmap on when it makes sense for you to do that upgrade and start utilizing these new features and functionality. We're also doing a series of workshops. We're going to be doing 6 workshops in our Q4, so starting in October. We're looking at Minneapolis, Chicago, New York, Boston, Dallas, and San Francisco. And all that information will be out on our website shortly, so certainly continue to look back at our website for those details. And then really quickly, with our webinars, we always give away 2 different free training tokens to some of the lucky guests out on the call. And today our winners are Nick Sharp from Thomson Reuters, so congratulations, Nick, and also Michael Modal from LCRA. So congratulations to both of you. And again, thanks everyone so much for joining. But at this point now, I'm going to hand it over to Christian's screen, which we've gotten a bunch of questions kind of throughout today's webinar. In the next couple of minutes, he'll answer some of those questions. I know he's also been kind of emailing some people back or sending some chats back when questions came up. And then we'll kind of take all these questions again and add them to our FAQ document on 11G, which is the white paper that's currently out on our website. So on that note, Christian?
Yep, thanks, Amy. I really appreciate it. Yep, and thanks everyone for attending. Just a couple of Q&A. A lot of questions been coming through the pipeline, a lot of really good questions. So clearly keep them coming. We'll try to get responses to as many of them as possible. Just for the sake of time, we had a few really good ones come through. So I'll just kind of rattle those off and just some quick responses and Marty chime in as well. First question is, when will 11G be available for Solaris? So clearly it's just Windows and Linux right now. Talked to several Oracle people, basically next release is what we're hearing. And then really no indication on when that release is going to be out. I assume, second or first quarter next year. Marty, chime in if you've heard differently. Then we also have the question of, is SSO available between OBI and PeopleSoft, or is it controlled by WebLogic? So yeah, definitely a new direction with 11G. WebLogic is not actually controlling SSO in 11G. That is going to be your enterprise manager, your 11G enterprise manager, what's also referred to as the fusion control. And that's where your SSO is going to be handled. So, so it should still work similar to what you're using in 10G, even now with some new enhancements. Let's see what else we have. We've got, does OBIEE have any write-back feature? So very similar to 10G, definitely the write-back feature is still available. In my opinion, the best enhancement to it is actually kind of an ancillary item, which is going to be the action framework. So in 10G, you pretty much for write-back, you had to set up, basically a tabular grid, and that was the way you wrote back. But now in 11G, with the action framework, you can pretty much just open up a prompt, kind of like a pop-up window, and have people enter in data that way as well. So I think it's just kind of a twist, adds only the write-back capability, but it's definitely still there. Somebody asked another good question. What is the ETL tool, Informatica or ODI? Okay, so one point of clarification is that the 11g Release 1 does not involve the analytic applications directly. So it's not bundled with the analytic applications, and it's really not certified for the analytic applications right now. So that's still 10G's territory. When it comes to an ETL tool, not immediately necessary for 11G, but to answer the immediate question that that user had, Informatica is still on Oracle's radar, but going forward, Oracle is really looking at positioning ODI to kind of supersede Informatica. Integration, learning curve, 11G UI, what's the ramp up? Well, first and foremost, we're going to have some workshops and some training sessions. I think Amy mentioned that. So if you're in the area in the next few months, I would say make your way out there to some of those training sessions and workshops. And then we're currently kind of wrapping up our 11G, basically our user interface, in-user training for the 11G in our BICG University. So that, look for that sometime in the first of next year. And Marty, here's a good question for you. Upgrade 10G to 11G. Any major hang-ups? Should they do it? Should they not?
It's really a case-by-case basis. Look at, if you're using custom, if you've got a custom 10G environment, or if you're looking at BI apps, there's a number of things that have to be considered because, as Christian said, 11G is only a platform release. There is no apps release at this time with it. So you would have kind of a crossbreed of your environment to maintain. We are putting together an upgrade questionnaire, which would help answer those kind of questions and help you make that decision of whether or not you should upgrade or should hold off.
Okay, Amy, do we have time for one more, a couple more? Somebody asked a question about the way I was actually navigating through one of the demonstrations where I clicked on the revert or reset button, and then I wound up going through the dashboard page tab and then cycling that way. Just an initial performance issue at the beginning of the webinar to answer the question. The reset for the filter does indeed work, but I didn't want to sit there and wait for it, have everybody on pause, so I went the immediate route where I knew I'd get a result and use the dashboard tab to kind of cycle that through.
Excellent. Hey, Christian, on that note, I think that our time is up. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us today for our webinar. And thanks, Christian and Marty, for giving us the good deep dive on 11G and answering those questions. We'll be continuing to populate our FAQ document, which is available for download online with some of the questions that we received here today. And then also, feel free to give us some feedback on these webinars. Hopefully, we're capturing and covering. There's so much to 11G, and we're capturing and covering as much as we can in these webinars. So hopefully it was enjoyable to all of you. And thanks again for coming.